Have you tried telling them how cool it is to watch the big military toys go boom? It makes this mushroom cloud you can point at with all your friends.
I
So,
like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Doing coke while watching mushrooms. Great way to spend an afternoon or an evening because you see the blast then as well, don't you?
Exactly, exactly. It's good for day or night. It's like a business casual outfit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Washington to Westminster, the podcast that marries UK and US politics, produce an unholy alliance. My name's Matt Johnston. I host a show called The Interesting Times with all the UK stuff, of course. You can probably guess by the accent, and somewhere from an undisclosed location, we believe in the US, but who knows, is Bridget Smith keeping herself safe from all the surveillance of big, beautiful government. Andrea, how goes America, land of the free?
Well, we are just absolutely swimming in freedom over here. Although, given the smell, I'm wondering if the freedom might actually be raw sewage. We'll have to look into that. But, anyways, another day, another conspiracy theory. You want to hear the latest one?
Do I? Now, that's the question. Let's see. America is approximately about 4,000 miles away. I mean, yeah, let's go for it. What the hell?
Okay, so for those of you keeping track out there, Donald Trump has had a lot of conspiracy theories about his predecessor, Joe Biden. So first, there was the one where he was sleepy all the time, too sleepy to do the job, like me after lunch at a really good barbecue joint. Then there was a bag of cocaine found in the White House, and Trump said that it was Biden's. Didn't bother to square that with the previous conspiracy theory, just tossed it onto the pile, okay? So he's sleepy, too sleepy, but also a jacked up cokehead simultaneously. We're not sure how that works. Now, when Biden announced that he had cancer, the conspiracy theory was that he had had it the whole time that he was in the White House and that he had lied to cover it up. Because I guess between all the napping and all the cocaine, that will, give you cancer, I guess. But the latest is that Trump has reposted a theory that Biden was executed in 2020 and replaced by clones. Apparently, all the clones are cokeheads who love sleeping and they have stage 9 cancer. So, Matt, is all that making sense to you?
Not really, no. I mean, if Biden's doing coke for one thing, he would be a lot more sprightly, I'm sure, right? If what I
Yeah.
understand about what coke does for you.
All right.
So where are all these conspiracy theories coming from, Andrea?
It's just some dude on the internet. Normally, with a normal president, when someone tweets something insane, you don't rush to repost it. But this president does.
Absolutely.
So it's just if you're a rando on the internet and you want to start a conspiracy theory, chances are he will pick it up and run with it. So
Is,
if anybody out there decides to try a new conspiracy theory and they can get Donald Trump to repost it, we will send you a T-shirt.
well, I mean, but I'm guessing this is coming from his Truth Social, is it? Or is it coming from X or Twitter, whatever it's called?
It's coming from Truth Social, so that
Right.
is a great place to start a conspiracy theory. But also Twitter, those two platforms, tend to work together in perfect harmony, unlike our political parties. For us, this is just kind of a regular Tuesday instead of some kind of disqualifying abomination. But I almost think that might be a good thing because when the nuclear war starts, we're going to be so dead inside from all this that we just won't react at all. It's really kind of toughened us up.
Yeah, I mean, what doesn't kill you turns you into cancer-ridden, coked-up drones. I remember that.
Exactly, exactly. Someone should embroider that on a throw pillow. What about you, Matt? What's happening over in the UK?
Oh, so this is fun. You remember I said that Farage and Reform might be distancing themselves from the Trump-based horrors you're having to sift through, like in that scene in Clockwork Orange, when he sat down with the kind of eyes being opened like that, watching everything? Yeah.
Yes, yes, and that reminds me, has anyone seen my eye drops?
Well, actually, I've got to hold my hands up on this one. It turns out I was wrong, as it looks
Oh,
like the newly elected Reform Council in Kent has brought in their very own Doge team.
oh.
Now, Andrea, see if you can see the guy cosplaying as Elon Musk as they sat around the table to talk about all the money they're going to save the local taxpayer.
Ah, yes, I think I may have spotted him.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. He's actually the whitest one, so it's no wonder the Reform love him.
Speaking of Elon, it looks like the bromance between him and Trump is well and truly dead, as we all knew that it was destined to be.
No, I thought they were bras for life, bros for life, however long that is for the either of them, of course.
Well, it looks like it's about 12 Scaramucci's. So, as you know, Elon and Doge, they've been all about cutting government spending. They promised that they would cut $1 trillion in spending, and they ended up saving us, let's see here, nowhere close to that. So, if you guys are going to do a whole Doge thing over there, you might want to consider actually being better at it.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Reform's chairman, Zia Youssef, has claimed the figure across the country would be about £7 billion. And in fact, the figure could be a bit more like 129 million. I mean, we will see. It's one of those where you start to unpack it, you're like, yeah. Don't get me wrong. And we've all heard horror stories when it comes to councils and how they spend their money. But the way that Reform's pushing it, they seem to be sort of suggesting that it's DEI. And it's most of it isn't. It's just people aren't able just chucking out contracts to their mates, sort of thing.
Yeah. So 7 billion versus 129 million. There's
Yeah.
just a slight discrepancy there. Tiny, insignificant. So the reason that Elon and Trump are not getting along is that Trump is trying to pass his big, beautiful bill through Congress. And Elon has come out and called that bill a, quote, disgusting abomination, because it increases the deficit by quite a lot. So I guess Trump is no longer invited to the ketamine parties.
Did Elon, I beg your pardon, mention any of his savings that could be used to bring down the trading deficit? I thought that was the whole point, right?
I mean, I think he was too busy taking away the ability of ordinary Americans to feed their families to kind of catch that one. So,
Gotcha. Right.
so he missed it. Yeah.
That's rather interesting. We'd obviously keep an eye out for that and via your channel as well. In other news, we are ramping up our defense spending in preparation for the new axis of evil, Putin, Jong-un, and Trump.
Oh, okay. So you're stocking up on Agent Orange to fight Agent Orange then?
That would appear to be the case. I mean, I guess I'm kidding, right? But the increase in our spending of our military is likely to include 12 new submarines, armed personnel ramping up to some 100,000, countless drones, and AI capabilities. But Keir Starmer's plans to do this may be thwarted by members of his own party. We'd rather see the government spend the money on our underfunded hospitals, malnourished children, and pensioners who might not make it through another winter. The woke lefties.
Frickin' commies, what are you going to do? Have you tried telling them how cool it is to watch the big military toys go boom? It makes this mushroom cloud you can point at with all your friends. So
I like that. Yeah. Doing coke while watching mushrooms. Great way to spend an afternoon or an evening, because you see the blast then as well, don't you?
Exactly. It's good for day or night. It's like a business casual outfit. Now, Matt, as you know, we of course agree with Starmer about spending money on defense instead of healthcare. And we had an interesting demonstration of this from Senator Joni Ernst. Now, she is a Republican, and she was having a town hall, bad idea, with some constituents who are concerned about losing their healthcare coverage under this big barf-worthy bill. And see if you can spot the moment that she loses the crowd entirely.
They are not eligible, so they will be coming off. So people are not, well, we all are going to die. So, for heaven's sakes.
Wow, yeah. Well, she's the senator for, Andrea.
She is the senator for Iowa.
Sorry, my American geography is all over the place. Is that, I mean, that's obviously a red state, right?
Yes, it is known for corn, and that's about it. So, but yes, a very red state. And there's, I think they said something like, someone check me on this, but I think it's like 9 million people in Iowa might lose their healthcare coverage under this bill. Wow. And so, she was like, well, we all got to die sometime, which is, Marie Antoinette climbed out of her grave to high five her after saying that.
Well, I'm guessing she's new at the whole pep talk thing, right?
Yes. Maybe don't call her if you're about to do a sporting event. Now, after a lot of outrage at her dismissing this perfectly legitimate observation, because yes, without healthcare coverage, people actually do die, she decided to make a little apology video.
A woman who was extremely distraught screamed out from the back corner of the auditorium, "People are going to die." And I made an incorrect assumption that everyone in the auditorium understood that, yes, we are all going to perish from this earth. So I apologize. And I'm really, really glad that I did not have to bring up the subject of the tooth fairy as well. But for those that would like to see eternal and everlasting life, I encourage you to embrace my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Oh God, some apology. I like the nod, by the way, to Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior, right after the Tooth Fairy
Yes.
too. I mean, far be it from me to talk against anyone's beliefs, but only one of those two individuals has given me money. That's all I'm saying.
You might need to be praying harder, okay?
True.
Now, Matt, I know that Starmer has the nickname of Kid Starver, but can you imagine him ever saying something like this?
No, but before I get on my high as a kite horse, Starmer would probably be stopped by other members of his party. I mean, one thing people don't like about Starmer, he's not really a conviction politician. The only thing he seems to care about is power. So there is that. Plus,
Okay.
we've got sarcasm over here. I mean, proper sarcasm. That wasn't proper sarcasm. That was amateur stuff. It's one of the reasons Liz Truss has only lasted 49 days as Prime Minister. I thought it'd be nice if we could have a bit of a chat about freedom of expression, freedom of speech. I don't know quite how you want to put it, but I know obviously it's something that on both sides of the Atlantic, it's something that we take seriously. It's something that's very well regulated. For Americans especially, it's the First Amendment, isn't it?
It is, yes. And by all means, let's talk about it while we still are allowed to.
Okay. So there's a story that, and you'll forgive me, I haven't read completely up on it, but basically the Trump administration has sent a delegation to have a look at how free speech is being handled in the UK.
Why?
Sure. Okay. And can I say that things must be going so well in America if that's your number one concern?
Yeah,
I
no,
would say
perfectly
as well
fine.
that our free speech is slightly better than they have in Russia. That's all. I would put that out there.
Just a bit, yes.
Just a bit. Just covering a couple of things. They're looking at one of the things that they're looking at is these individuals that are praying outside of abortion clinics. Now, I don't know if you have this in America, but in our abortion clinics here, in order to stop people when they're going to get an abortion, they would be harangued by individuals, sort of telling them, don't do it, you're killing your child, that sort of thing, as they were trying to go in and get this medical procedure done.
We definitely have that.
Okay. Well, they set up an exclusion zone around these abortions. So you're not allowed within, I think it's 100 meters, 150 meters. So it meant that people could drive straight up and go in without, because it's not like people were sat there kind of going, pregnant women were sat there going, I think I'll have an abortion today.
Right.
They have thought this through. It's just, wow, some random person shouted something in my ear. I'm definitely going to give it a miss. So yes, you're not allowed to go within this exclusion zone and sort of basically, I'm not entirely sure what you're not supposed to do, but you're not allowed to go within it in order to harangue women going for an abortion. So there was a couple of instances. I think the last one was something like 2022, where an individual had actually done that. He said he was praying, but that's not what he was arrested for. He was, perhaps praying loudly. Something like, "Dear Lord, please forgive this sinner," that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yes. Bible at her or something.
Right.
So, there's a bit more to it than that. So that's one of the stories. The other one is about this woman called Lucy Connelly, who was a babysitter. And basically, when the we had that business last year in the Stockport killings. Those 3 young girls were murdered.
Yes.
And the wrong information came out, and they said it was due to asylum seekers. She put a tweet out to say, "I've had enough. Burn down all the burn down all the asylum seekers hotels with them inside, as far as I care." Something along those lines. And she was jailed for it, basically, because that then added fuel to the fire, no pun intended.
Right.
Which meant that people were going out. They'd get this sense of outrage. At one point they were trying to set fire to an actual hotel with asylum seekers inside.
Yeah.
Now, this is something else that they're looking at with reference to freedom of speech. I would say she's been jailed for 31 months, which is a long time.
Yeah.
It's some 2.5 years, just over 2.5, 2 years, 7 months, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is that. I'm slightly conflicted on this, insofar as obviously I believe in free speech, but there's an American saying, I believe, which goes, "My right to swing my fist stops at your face."
Yes, exactly.
And with her, she should have been jailed. But I think part of the problem, jailing her for that long, turns her from a criminal into a martyr.
Yes.
Which is what the right wing are now going to use her as. And it doesn't really serve any other purpose than to do that. She's not, she's been in there 7 months. She's no longer a threat to society, really. And the message that the jury, the message that the justice system wanted to send out about the fact that you can't incite people to riot and stuff, that's been put out there. Everybody is aware that you should be careful about what you post on Twitter, or if they're not, there is no excuse for it. But I'm not sure that the next 1.5 years or whatever is going to serve much purpose. But feel free to tell me if I'm wrong, by the way, and put it in the comments. That's wonderful. But anyway, that's from over here. And I wanted maybe your take on, Andrea, on the whole freedom of speech thing and how Americans maybe see us and stuff with regards to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the average American has no worries about your free speech whatsoever. The right-wing conspiracy theory people are all up in arms about it, saying that, you guys are suppressing free speech and they need to go over there and deal with it just as soon as they're done suppressing our free speech. They want to make sure yours is very free, ours less so. I have to say, first of all, to the matter at hand, I agree with you. You can't incite violence and you should be punished for that. 2.5 years does seem like a long time for something like that. So I agree with you on all of those points. However, I think it is very, very rich that we are sending a delegation over there to talk about free speech, because what is happening right now when people try to come into our country, and even people who are citizens that live in this country, that were born in this country, are experiencing this, where they will be flagged at an airport and they want to search your social media. They're talking about, okay, before we let international students come in here, we want to take a look at all of their social media profiles and, make sure that they're not like pro-Palestine or something like that.
Wow, really? That's insane.
Yeah. So I think the fact that we are spending our tax dollars to send people over to you to, what the fuck are they going to do when they get there? Like, they're supposed to like fix the problem. Really, they just want to stand around and like look down their nose at you guys and be like, you guys better do free speech. They're not going to fix anything. They're not going to solve any problems. What the fuck are you doing? Like, come back here. If you really want free speech, then let in an international student that thinks that Palestinian children shouldn't be blown to bits.
Yeah. That seems to be sort of a fairly easy sort of thing to agree on, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And this, who knows if I'll be able to fly on a plane ever again after saying this, but it is perfectly legitimate to have concerns about what is going on in Gaza right now. It is also perfectly legitimate to say, there was an anti-Semitic, murder spree basically this past week. Some people that were,
I saw that. Incredible, horrifying.
yeah, and these people were saying, we want to bring the hostages home. Also, extremely legitimate. We have to be able to say these things without people getting detained or shot or things like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, free speech isn't very free.
No, quite right. Okay, wow, yes, I've forgotten all about that. Yeah, crikey. Okay, well, we're not going to leave you. By the way, we're not going to leave you, everyone, on that note. That's not how we're going to end the show. We always like to leave you with one of those, on the news programs, they have the "and finally," and they have sort of some frog that can sort of learn how to croak the national anthem or something. I don't know, I'm making this stuff up. But so before we go, Andrea, there was an article about Dame Andrea Jenkins. Your near namesake, you'll forgive me, about Reform's mayor for Greater Lincolnshire. So the article was in the Torygraph, the Telegraph, as we call it, the Torygraph, which cited her achievements, including getting to the semi-finals of the beauty contest and working in Greggs. Have you ever heard of Greggs, Andrea?
No, it sounds very fancy.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, once you see it, you're like, right, yes, it's a baker's, simply put.
Oh,
and it's
okay.
Brilliant. I love Greggs. I will not have a word said about it. Well, I'll put it another way. I love the Northern Greggs. Now, the Northern Greggs, they will give you 5 hot giant sausage rolls for £1, or at least they did a few years ago when I was doing some panto up there. But anyway, in the London ones, you'd be lucky to find 5 sausage rolls in a Greggs. The London ones, they're overpriced and understocked. And let's be honest, when you go into Greggs, you're not playing for cordon bleu, are you, really?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see the picture of the place now.
Yeah, they do square pizza, by the way. I'm not making this up. I've had square pizza from them.
Okay.
It is as delicious as it sounds. Anyway, the article also mentioned that she'd released an album, which I did not know. And there is a video of it on YouTube. It is, however, annoyingly not bad. So that doesn't really fit with our criteria of watching talentless right-wing grifters trying to push their tone-deaf art onto the general public, does it?
No, it's extremely disappointing. And I think, what's that guy? His name starts with an L. Lawrence. Yes, Lawrence Fox.
Yeah.
Maybe they can team up. Maybe she can teach him how to sing. That might be nice.
Yes. It is better than that, because you can't imagine anything being worse, can you, really? But there we go.
No.
Thankfully, there is another video of her singing at one of these very much understated Brexit events. As I say, very toned down. So see if anywhere in this video you might just be able to spot a Union Jack. This is our sarcasm coming in, by the way. So good luck with that. Anyway, look out for the newsreaders as well, right at the end, and their response to the singing. Here we go. Have a look.
And was a holy Lamb of God on England's pleasant pastures. Andrea Jenkins there. Thank you for the music, Andrea. Very, very good indeed.
She was not in the mood for a song right then, was she? She was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I do not want this. That's very funny.
You don't get to turn around and say thank you for the music when you've cut her off halfway through the second line. That's delightful. That really is. It's just the grin on her face. It's just, thanks for that. So the weather now. Let's get some good news. Anyway, so we could do a compilation, actually, couldn't we, of all these god-awful singers we've collated over the course of our shows. What could we call it? Now that's what I call shite, or all of the world's greatest shits, or something like that.
Yes. I will tell you, if Lawrence Fox and Lara Trump and Andrea Jenkins form some kind of super group, then I will completely change my stance on free speech and say no one should be allowed to make noises with their mouth ever again at all, period.
Yeah, I can't wait. I couldn't wait, honestly.
All right, everybody, that wraps up this week's episode. Now, for anyone who wants a deeper dive on the state of the UK, don't jump into the Thames. Just head on over to Matt's channel, The Interesting Times. far more sanitary, and you won't be wet at the end of it. And for Phoenix fans, we are going to try releasing our Friday show on Monday because it turns out that no one watches it over the weekend because you are all too busy day drinking. So we know you need something to do on Monday afternoon in between trying to make it look like you're working. So we're going to post it then. So until then, bye.